What's up, guys? Buckle up because you're about to enjoy an excellent Snaps game preview where we tell you everything you need to know about this weekend's game and probably some stuff that you didn't. Enjoy. Last one here in the Who Gives a Fuck Bowl, LSU at Florida. What? No. Actually, I gotta be completely honest about this. I naturally, this morning, found myself feeling free of the burden of expectation, Aaron. Because if we think back to early on in the season, LSU loses to USC, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're just not that good. Like they're a 9-3 team at best, maybe 8-4, more likely. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna watch this team. I'm going to judge them on how they do. And, I'll be excited to see what works, whether to see the improvement. But I had no, I wasn't holding in some playoff standard.
No.
But then they get a little hot. They beat Ole Miss. And all of a sudden, I'm like looking like, well, they're leading in sacks. They don't give up sacks. I'm like, look, I'm doing all this. And I'm like, oh my God, they actually are good. They're playoffs. But then everything becomes like playoffs. Can they make it? Can they not? Blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know if they're that good, but I think they're that good. They're in the conference. Now all that's done.
Yeah. Just play ball.
I'm like Galadriel when she says no to the ring. I get to retire to the West. Galadriel once again. I get to just go watch this team and not give a fuck about the postseason and just say, hey, let's get in a fight and let's fucking beat the team that's lining up this Saturday. So I'm actually not I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm still fucking hyped for the playoffs.
You as a fan are, but what about as a player though? In the locker room, knowing that you got spanked, embarrassed. And what do you have left to fight for?
Well, I said it yesterday. It's this is a test of Brian Kelly
culture.
Here. Yeah. I mean, Brian Kelly builds everything, everything he does, he claims is about culture and process, right? Well, culture and process is how you deal with the disappointment that comes from missed results, right? It's not one-to-one at all, but the way that Kirby, I mean, whatever, we all know how that FSU game was last year, but after this point, missed the playoffs, the way that Georgia players stayed and came back and stayed locked in for that bowl game, that speaks to culture, that speaks to process. So this is going to show the character of this LSU team. This is going to show their ability to overcome adversity, and it's a huge commentary on Kelly because Kelly can't go to 8-4. He can go to 9-3 and be okay. If he goes to 8-4, then people are going to be furious. Yeah. But also, seriously though, if you're not a fan of one of these two teams, who's watching this game?
I will.
Well, you host a college football podcast. It's literally your.
If you want to watch college football in the mid-afternoon slot, these are your options. These are your options. Virginia, Notre Dame, Boston College, SMU, LSU, Florida, Louisville, Stanford, Oregon State, Air Force, Nebraska, USC at 4. So, there's not a lot of options at the 3:30.
No, okay. So this is
probably the sexiest ones. It's a 3:30 ABC game. This is the best.
So we're calling this is Saturday's bum fights window.
Yes.
But this is the bum fights headliner here.
This is the bum
fights headliner. This has Kimbo Slice and somebody else.
This is the opposite. Last week, the noon slate was, I believe, not super great. This week, the noon slate's great. You have a lot of the games that we've talked about. You have Texas, Arkansas. You have Clemson, Pitt, which are 2 ranked teams. You have Utah, Colorado, and then the night games. But yeah, this is the best 3:30 game. So I think there are a lot of people will be watching it. TBob, there you go.
All right, cool, hell yeah. I got to be honest, man. I haven't watched Florida much this year. And every time I do watch them, they're kind of getting their ass kicked, except for the Georgia game a couple of weeks ago.
I think the issue is going to be DJ is supposed to be ready to play.
Yes.
But how aggressive can he be running the football with the thought of in the back of his mind of that hamstring? Because if he's fully healthy, I think Florida has a chance. But DJ unable to run the football, I would favor LSU a little bit.
What do you think about Garrett Nussmeier in terms of needing to get right here? Here's a quarterback who his greatest strength is anticipation and knowing where to put the ball. But now, Aaron, after throwing multiple picks in which he just did not expect the guy to be there, you can see him hesitating. You can see the hitch. You can see him no longer anticipating. This is his first year starting, meaning everything he experiences is his first time going through it. He is slumping. As a quarterback, how do you pull out of that, especially when anticipation is your greatest strength? How do you pull out of that and trust yourself once again?
I think it comes from the coaching staff. I think the coaching staff has to tell them to keep doing your thing. Like, I think at the end of the day, it comes from like
that's still easier said than done, though, huh? No, I mean, I guess being empowered.
Yes, exactly. If the coaching staff sits down with you and says, "This is where we're just missing, but we still love the way you're playing. We still want you to be aggressive. We want you to do this, and like we trust you. We try." Like, I think that to me, you take that as a quarterback and you keep doing your thing. And then maybe too, as a coordinator, you limit the playbook a little bit. You have plays that 100% that he can confidently throw, and that he can execute at a high level, and that he's not trying to throw things that maybe he hasn't seen. What made Tom Brady so good? Well, Tom Brady's seen every single defense that there ever was. He had confidence that the play that he's run a million times was going to work. You just said it, Garrett. This is his first true season starting. His menu is limited to what he's done against certain defenses. So you go back as a staff and say, okay, he's had success with 4 verts, and let's just call that more often, or curl flats, or flood concepts, or deep overs with posts. Like, whatever the concept is that he runs, do more of that, and just put a little lipstick on the pig. Different formations, different personnel groups, different motions, but still get to the same concept that he reads well and can anticipate. So do more of that. But I still think he's talented.
It's a very good answer on how to pull out a slump. That's exactly what I wanted to pick your brain on that. For Florida, look, you have a Florida team. Billy Napier gets a vote of confidence. And it was a smart move by Strickland to do that ahead of the Texas game. I know a lot of people are clowning him for that, but he knew they were going to get their ass kicked in by Texas, right? No lagway. Like, you had to get ahead of that because you can't announce that on the other side of the Texas game, or it's like, what the hell are we doing? For Florida, they've dealt with more injuries than just about anybody in the entire country. It's impressive at how they've stayed kind of relevant, but I don't know, man. I like LSU here, and they've dominated this series recently, which maybe you tell me that means Florida's due. I just think Florida has too much adversity that they're being asked to overcome with the injuries, especially at the quarterback position. And like you said, if Lagway's not quite fully there yet.
Yeah, if Lagway is not fully there yet, which I don't think he will be 100%. I think that limits him. Listen, you're without Montrell, you're without Eugene, you're without multiple guys on defense. I mean, it is like you alluded to. It's pretty amazing that these guys are continuing to fight and not, essentially roll over and play dead. So I think you'll get a good first half, but I just think LSU is just a better football team. I think they'll find a way to win in the second half.
Bad 90 minutes for LSU. But can they stop the skid?
I think they can. I think they can.
I think so as well. And I think it's a nice little win there on the road in the swamp. Oh, well, I'd say that was informative and fun. If you agree, please hit the like button, sub, and we'll see you next time for some more snaps.